Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and today I'm going to be playing a game in my Tier 8 French Premium Medium tank, the Lorraine 40 ton. The map today, if I can remember, is Serene Coast. Sorry, it's been a while. And I'm going to be pushing down towards the boot. I like to do this in a lot of my quicker vehicles, especially tanks like the Lorraine, or light tanks for that matter, to try to get some sneaky side shots or lights for any other vehicle. Typically, if I was in a light tank, I probably wouldn't take shots if I could afford not to. Especially if I had vehicles behind me that were willing to take the shots for me. But right now it looks like this KV3 is showing me his side, and I'm not going to give up an opportunity to put some nice quick shells into him. So now it puts my damage up to 600 under 1 minute in the game, which is not too bad. I'm hoping that something else might push around and give me some shots. And so looking at the enemy lineup, you see the T29, the Tiger P, even the JigTig, the E4, Super Pershings, slower vehicles like that you might expect to push down. I'm kind of waiting for them to give me shots. The JigTig is able to make it down here without showing me any of his vehicle, and I see the Super Pershings are lit in the one line. I see the Tiger is also lit down the tracks. I see if I can get a quick shot into him. Not necessarily the case. I'm hoping that maybe something else will give me a side shot, but I think the odds of that are unlikely. So quickly before I start to relocate, I put a new magazine in. You can do so by hitting the C key on any autoloader, and I'm able to relocate without really taking any damage or anything like that. I see that the one line is doing okay, but I feel like my presence there would greatly be appreciated. And it's a tier 8-7 game, which means that there are no tier 6 games in this vehicle, meaning the majority of the vehicles are going to be tier 7. But there are also 5 tier 8s as well. And I'm thinking maybe I can possibly get a shot on this Tiger, but I decided, nah, it's not really worth getting shot at. They have a lot of tank destroyers, some of which are unaccounted for, and I don't really want to expose my vehicle quite yet. And so I'm going to try to just support the hill. I have my clip completely reloaded. I don't know if I want to face off with the Super Pershings exactly frontally quite yet, just because if I do, most likely they're going to bounce a few of my shells. I'll probably connect maybe 2 out of 4 and penetrate them if I'm, that's my prediction anyway. They can be really tricky to penetrate, and if that happens, then I have to sit around for another 30 seconds to reload my clip, and they could possibly push up and kill me. And so I really, again, don't want to face them frontally, and the fact that this Tiger is pushing forward and not getting killed at all helps me realize that there's probably not a lot going down in that southern half of the 1-2 line. And so I push around. I see the Lorraine is sitting right there, and I duck down to this rock, hoping to avoid artillery fire as well as fire from any tank destroyers that might be potentially hiding. And I push forward, and I think, okay, this Lorraine's going to give me some nice easy shots. I have 3 shells left. Let's see if I can make them count. So I peek over. The Lorraine is completely full life. I wait till I'm almost fully aimed. First shot misses, second shot connects, and third shot misses. And so kind of a bad result there, but he wasn't really giving me much to work with. And these Super Pershings are still putting up a pretty good fight. They're the only reason why our team in the 1-2 line has not been able to push, is because they're being pretty, stubborn, I guess. Supers are notorious for being hard to kill, especially when there are not very many higher tiers to contest them. So I think, okay, my best chance here is to reload my clip and try to finish off those supers, give our 1-2 line a chance to push forward. And so I'm going to immediately go after the one that's lower health. That's going to be the right move to make. I have 300 alpha damage, so 2 shells should be able to do the trick. Gun depression kind of messes with me a little bit there, and I go for the second one. And I go for 2 tracking shots. The second one, unfortunately, I think he either fixed it right after I shot him there, or I had missed. But going for those shots on that wheel well, right on the edge of those vehicles, it's kind of like going for headshots in any other game, really, if you think about it. In World of Tanks, tanks don't really have, kind of like a headshot zone. But if you really think about it, that round circle on the edge of those vehicles' spokes, if you see it on my Lorraine here, it's going to be this spoke right here on the very end or the very front. Guaranteed track shot in most vehicles as long as you have enough damage, and you're pretty much going to always do damage as well. And so it's kind of the best place you can ever shoot a vehicle if you have their side is that area there, or if they're at like a 45 degree. And so get really good at shooting those areas because it'll cripple their tank on top of doing damage, and it's awesome. So I peek around here, I spot the Artie, and then I was not expecting the Scorpion to be hiding up in that corner there. I go for a shot, unfortunately I miss, and this E25 just completely decides that he wants to take me out. I tried to pull forward to go for the ram. Unfortunately, I was not able to connect with a ram, and I was thinking that's the only way I could have survived that situation, because I would have to clip, and his DPM is so great that he would have eaten me up long before I could have reloaded my clip. Fortunately though, our WZ-132 comes to the rescue and he's able to finish him off for me, and which means I can focus on putting in a fresh clip. I'm not spotted, I don't think, at this point, and I'm going to be able to put pressure on them as well. Now our base, I haven't really been paying much attention to it during this replay. I was definitely watching it while I was playing this game, but it looks like their T-29 gets wrecked by our Artie, and a JigTig is never going to be able to push into a base and cap by himself. Those things are so slow. Yes, they have good DPM, but anything that has even slight mobility will be able to take advantage of that thing. And on top of that, we have two Artie left. I'm not worried at all. I see the Ferdinand is out in the open. He puts a shot on me, and you know what? You're going to shoot me. I'm going to shoot you back. And so I decide to charge him. Hindsight, I could have gone for a track shot here, which I guess I just did. I was waiting till I was close enough. I should have aimed a little better. I ended up shooting his superstructure there. Go for the track shot at the very end there. And I actually don't know if I got it or not. I don't think I was able to track him. Yep, it looks like he's chasing me now, but I am just that much more mobile than a Ferdinand. So before he can even get around into a position to shoot me, I'm just long gone. He is the only opponent remaining, and I am going to just give him the complete loop around here and put in a full clip and engage him again. Our WZ goes in, he gets killed, and I'm almost reloaded. I realize that I can probably take a hit still as long as he doesn't roll exceptionally high, and I'm just going to push in. I don't want to necessarily ram him at this point because I would probably die, but I'm able to get his flank, and I don't make the same mistake twice. I'm not going to auto aim this time. I go for the weak spot on the side of his hole there, and I'm able to finish him off. And for those of you that don't know, this Ferdinand has really good frontal armor, but these corner plates right here, especially if he's angled at a 45 degree like that, very easy to penetrate. Go for that if you ever get the opportunity, because it'll just, your shells will go through just like butter. I promise. Anyway guys, 4,500 damage and 500 almost assist in my Lorraine 40 ton, giving me a net of about 5k damage in a tier 8 game. You know, not amazing results, but I would think that that's still pretty good. My little move that I made there, flanking those super Pershings, I think was a real game changer, even though we probably would have won this game anyway. And then just being really aggressive like that and finishing off Artie, going in, killing that Ferdy. I thought it was pretty entertaining to watch, and so hopefully you guys did as well. Anyway guys, if you guys like that replay, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and today I'm going to be playing a game in my tier 10 German medium tank, the Leopard 1. And I know I have a lot of Leopard 1 gameplays being uploaded recently, and that's only because there was a marathon where you could earn the black vehicles like the Shadow, Mutz, the T-34B and the IS-6B I believe, and I had to get a lot of damage in my German vehicles, and that is primarily why. The map today is Malinovka, and I am in a tier 10 medium tank, but I am playing like a light tank, and the only reason I'm doing this right now is because we actually have no light tanks, and they also have no light tanks as well. And being aggressive like this in a light, or not, I'm sorry, not a light tank, in a medium tank early on, I know I could potentially get some early spotting damage and hopefully take out one or two of their enemy vehicles. Now, I don't have XBM activated at the moment, but the enemy team was very, very strong. Platoon 1, I believe, was all from a very high tier clan, and let's just say the majority of their team was blue and purple, while our team was green and red. And the odds of me carrying this game I knew were very slim, and so I didn't want to be super aggressive and get myself on the hill when I knew the majority of our team would probably be camping base, which they actually are. And I really wanted to win this for our team, but again, I wasn't very optimistic about the odds, and so I really just wanted to farm as much damage as possible and be really sneaky and hopefully be able to get a win for our team by actually spotting targets for them, because I knew they probably weren't going to be pushing off the cap anytime soon. The reason I'm sitting here is I feel like the E50 is going to expose himself. Now, for those of you that know, the E50 is a very big, bulky medium tank with very poor camo value. And I know that if he makes one misplay, he fires his gun, he shows me a little bit of his tank around one of those bushes, I'm going to easily be able to outspot him. And our team that's sitting in the middle as well as on our base will be able to just destroy him in a few seconds. And I was right. The E50 does get lit. I'm able to spot him. I believe that was my spot. Yep. And I'm able to get the assist damage. He panics because he's not quite sure what to do, and he's moving around. I think he's probably going to try to make a move, but so far he hasn't. But I'm able to get a little bit more assist damage there, 500 from the artillery. And as you can tell, our E50M is sitting right in the open. Again, the E50M is also a tank that's not really known for its camo value, and he hasn't been lit out in the middle of the field. And that helps me know that they probably don't have a lot of vehicles on their base. Okay, now the E50 pushes out, he's going to get himself killed, so I'm not going to fire my gun here, because if I do, I'll probably get lit. I realize now that he's completely out of my render range. I'm about to take the shot, but someone beats me to the punch. Now at this point, I do realize that our team has made an aggressive push onto the hill, and the fact that our E50M hasn't been lit makes me know that the majority of their team is going to be either on the hill or camping in the woods on the zero line. And I'm trying to decide right now what exactly I want to do. If I push onto the hill, tanks like the Type 5 Heavy, STB-1, you know, the E75, WZ-111, tanks like that have pretty good turret armor are going to be able to take advantage of the soft Leopard, and their artillery as well will probably try to put a shot into me. And so I really want to try to be sneaky here, and I realize, okay, E50M is still not lit. That ST or the Skoda T50 just got himself killed. There's got to be nothing around this area, and so I just said screw it, I'm gonna push in. Our guys are holding the hill off actually surprisingly well at this point, and I want to try to get spots onto the magical woods for our team that are in position now on the J line, as well as our Tortoise, our STRV. I feel like if I spot things right now, they're going to evaporate very quickly, and so using my Leopard's good speed, I get myself into position. Notice that this Tortoise is spotted, but I have no shots on him at all, and so I'm going to just push over this knoll and hope to get some spots. So driving over, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to spot, but they're really not going to expect me to be here either. Suddenly the grill appears right in front of me. I back off. I could have tried to take a shot on him, but it's not really worth taking that 750 alpha damage hit. I use my gun depression on the side of my vehicle to try to pull up to get a shot. Not able to do so, but it really doesn't matter. He evaporates within a few seconds. I think that was artillery right there taking a shot on me. And I don't want to really just poke in the same position twice, because now people know exactly where I am, and I realize that our hill has fallen as well. So I'm falling back here for two reasons. Again, I don't want to poke in the same position twice, and I want to get spots and shots on anything that might be pushing down on the hill. Our T95 starts to cap, and I realize that this pressure is going to cause the majority of their hill to actually fall back. And so this E75 is driving down the hill. I realize that I can probably get a shot into him, and I'm able to connect a nice shot into the side of his turret. I probably won't get another shot, and from this position, the fact that I'm not spotting anything else helps me realize that the majority of their vehicles has probably fallen back, and that I should probably fall back as well. The majority of our team actually is now in the enemy base, and they're being pretty aggressive, and so I decide it's my best interest to actually fall back. I think about pulling up for a second here, I guess, hoping to get one more shot, but my thoughts were that maybe something else would try to push down, realizing that our base was weak, but I notice now that there are tanks on zero line, and so I'm going to fall back and try to get as many shots in as possible. Now I'm going to pull back into the same position that I was earlier, maybe hoping to get some spots onto anything that are in the forest, also maybe getting shots. I notice that this WZ is spotted right there, and hopefully our guys in our base will be able to get some shots onto them. Again, trying not to poke in the same position twice. I pull around to the side here, hoping to maybe get some shots into some of the vehicles on the 0 line. I pull up here just like that, using that bush in the hill. Fortunately, the bush doesn't hide me very well, but I'm able to spot the Type 5 heavy, and I'm able to get some good shots put into him, getting my assist damage all the way up to 6k. And again, I'm in a tier 10 tank, guys, and I really haven't been very effective in terms of putting out damage. I'm really playing the role of a light tank here. I only have 782 damage. I could have been in a tier 8 light tank and done exactly what I'm doing now, and the only reason I'm filling this role is because there was a lack of light tanks, and this is probably one of the best light tank maps in the game. This WZ decides that he's had enough of me spotting his team. Try to go for a track shot there. He's trying to YOLO me, it looked like, but he's having second thoughts now that he's taken so much heavy damage. Again, I'm not able to track him in the open, but it doesn't really matter. He is taken out very rapidly by our tank destroyers. So now we're sitting at an advantage. We own more than half the map, and we have their cap. Their AMX 30 is lit, but he's not really a concern right now. I'm trying to still spot things for our team. I'm not going to have shots here, I don't think, because I'm not quite elevated enough to shoot into that little depression that the STB and the AMX is in, but I need to try to put some pressure on them because I know that our STI is not going to last that much longer. Actually, I think it's the ST1. I always get confused by that vehicle. Anyway, this position will give me enough elevation to put shots into them. The STB just completely takes a shot from the RD and evaporates. I'm able to put a nice shot into the AMX 30 regardless of whether I'm able to finish him off or not. That shot that I put into him alone, making him a one shot, he's probably going to back off now because there's really no point for him to be that aggressive anymore. So at this point, we have them down to 5 vehicles plus 2 RD, and we're sitting at 6 vehicles and 2 RD. So we're pretty much tied, except for the advantages that I'm in a full life medium tank with excellent view range, and again we have map control. It looks like they all have completely come off the hill and our team has taken it. And their AMX 30, whether he was trying to hide or he gave up completely, I'm not sure exactly what he was thinking, but he drowned himself. So this puts the game more in our advantage, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, we probably have won this game for sure, and I really could be aggressive here if I wanted to, but again, their Object 263 has yet to be lit, and I'm pretty sure he's still full life. Their Jagdtiger is still unaccounted for. Their AMX 5100, or I'm sorry, their 120. They still have a lot of vehicles that are full life, and me throwing my tank away now is going to just result in my team YOLOing in and possibly losing this game for us because, again, we have a lot of tank destroyers and heavy tanks. I'm the only eyes that our team really has, and me killing myself now will leave our team blind and potentially losing this for us. And again, when you're playing pub games like this, it's really important that you keep your tank in the game as long as possible, keep your gun singing as long as possible, just because the second you die, you have no more impact on the game unless you have some excellent words of wisdom to give your team via chat. So the main reason I pulled up here is because I realized that something is probably going to try to reclaim the hill. In this case, it was a Type 5 heavy. He gives me his profile. I'm able to put a nice shot into the side of his turret, and I'm probably going to be able to get one more shot in if I spot him. I'm going to put another blind shot in just because he was tracked right there, and I know that he probably wasn't going to be able to repair it. Actually, I'm not sure if I was able to connect that shot or not, but something blind fires me. Obviously, I wasn't lit, but it looks like they knew exactly where I was. I was probably the Type 5, honestly. And I'm going to just drive up the knoll. I know there's really not a lot of chance that something is going to be able to spot me right here, and the Type 5 gets killed by our grill on the hill. Dr. Seuss. Anyway, so now I know that we have a huge advantage. There's only 25 seconds left for the cap to be captured and for us to win the game, and it looks like the majority of their team is probably going to be distracted and looking in that general direction. Unfortunately, they're able to get a reset. I think the Artie was able to reset the ST1, and he actually gets killed by Artie. The Jagdtiger is sitting down there, and he is not going to give me a shot right now. I notice that the artillery gets lit, so I pull forward, hoping to get a quick shot on him before it gets unlit. Am I going to find the shot? And, oh, looks like our grill took him out as well. So now they're down to 3 functioning vehicles as well as an artillery, and our team is putting in the pressure. Our Moschen is kind of off in the distance. He's not going to really be that helpful, but I know that this girl has been on point with his shots, and so I'm going to pull up and try to get some spots for him. Sneaky, right? I'm right next to this AMX 5120. He's unable to light me. I pull forward. Our girl, again, gets another shot on him, and I notice that this 263 appears. Now, this is a position where I know I can take advantage of him. The Jagdtiger is not in a position to shoot me. The artillery, odds are he's probably not going to be able to kill me, and I'm going to just take advantage of this 263. And disaster strikes. He is going to be able to pen me as well as catch me on fire, and then this being stunned on top of that, the 263 is able to turn around and finish me off. So really unfortunate there that he was able to do that, but I guess you can't win them all, right? I'm able to net 7,600 assist damage, however, and 2,500 damage. No kills, but I personally feel like I was the one that had the most impact in carrying and slash winning that game. And, you know, not to honk my own horn, but my aggressive plays and getting the spots that I did helped our team that was sitting back and kind of camping this whole game to get the kills and damage necessary to carry. And these are the kind of games that I want to show you guys. Games where it was my movements, my map awareness, my relocating that was ultimately the reason why we won the game, versus where we, you know, completely roll them. All of that stuff is, you know, I guess not super fun to watch. And so again, the games where my actions, you know, kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, and tipped over the game to our favor, allowing us to win. And again, starting off this game, it looked really, really bad because the majority of their team was blue, purple, and even a couple pink, and I'm like, there's no way we're going to be able to win this. And hindsight, they should have pushed down and completely wiped out our base when they had the opportunity. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't, but I think it was the fact that we had guys on their cap that forced them to fall back, giving us the amount of map control that we needed to win this game for us. And so now the Jagdtiger is just going to be finished off by the Tortoise. There's no way he can win this battle now. The Tortoise has way better DPM than he does. And even with 2 minutes left on the game, we were able to win. And I'm really happy with the results because, again, if I wasn't a light tank, I would have done probably the exact same thing. And just because I wasn't a medium tank, there was no reason why I couldn't. And the Leopard is kind of the exception in terms of being able to make those kind of plays. Because if I was in, let's say, a Soviet medium tank, maybe I wouldn't have the mobility needed. And again, the fact that I have optics and everything like that really helps me be aggressive and get those spots necessary for my team to win. Anyway, guys, hopefully you liked this replay. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.